Hi, all. Welcome to the podcast Silent Whispers. And this is my episode 3. Today, I want to talk about what quality we need for a high performance team. And why I have chosen this topic is because in last couple of weeks I was going through really tough time with my team members. So that's where I did some kind of a observation which I wanted to share with you so that it will help you also figure out what changes you need to make sure your team is performing at their best. Okay. So, first thing is that people should have shared understanding. And what do I mean by shared understanding is that they should have a common perspective, and each individual should have right expertise. They should have right set of knowledge base arranged for them, and each individual should be held accountable for the roles and responsibility that they carry. Okay. Now, one thing I observed is many a times team members get into heated conversation. Okay. And why that happen is because people are nowadays operating from ego, okay, where they feel that I have to prove myself that I am right. So they will not think what other person is thinking about or what the other person is going through. They will just share their perspective. Now, we as managers or leaders need to make sure that we hold space for each individual and try to understand their emotional being. Okay. And very important thing that please do not make an assumption or judgment about any of your team members just by listening to one side of the story. The coin always has two sides. So if you are listening to one side and making a decision, then I'm sorry to say, but that's not the right way to take it. So it is important that you get into a call with each individual, try to understand what is the challenge that they are facing at their workplace, and at the same time, also try to understand how are they doing in their personal life, which is very, very important. Why? Because if someone is going through a tough time in their family, and if you are giving more pressure to that person, for sure he will not be able to take that pressure. So it's important that we need to understand what is the emotional state of my team member at workplace and in their personal life. Okay. And we also need to guide them how to work in a stressful situation. So having a personal connect with each individual really helps a lot. Okay. Now, one thing that most of the organization does is getting into a stand-up call or scrum call, whatever you say, right? And that is a good part. Like you need to have a daily stand-up call. And what could be the topics that you need to ask in that call is what is the work that I have completed? What is the next actions that I'm going to take? And what are the blockage for making certain kind of a progress. Okay. Now, when I asked my team, are they looking for any kind of a help? Most of the time, I got a reply that no, everything is going pretty well. We do not need any help. And that's where, when I asked my team members that if you are not facing any problem, if you do not need any help, then why the progress is not happening? And that's where I observed a very beautiful thing. Okay. Now, people think that when you are asking for help, it means that they are not good enough at their work and they will be judged as incapable or they will be taken as a failure. So, we need to come out of this mindset. Okay. I made my team members understand that asking for help is letting people know that you are stuck in certain work that you are performing right now, and what is the support that you need us to enable it for you so that you can make progress on the task that you are currently stuck with. And then people started to open up and then they started to share things with me that, okay, Ritika, I want this help. I am not clear about certain things, or there is a knowledge gap in this area. Can you please help me get some kind of a trainings enabled? So it is important that we get into a call with our team and ask them questions so that they get more clarity on what kind of help they need. Okay. Now, there is another thing that needs to be checked upon, which is called manual of need. So this is some kind of evaluation, I would say, about your team members, where these are the few things that you can ask them. Okay, what am I best about? So that is kind of their strengths. Okay, like what type of work they really feel, you know, good working upon. Like they will be not putting much effort. It will be like easy to go. They are very much confident on those topics. So those are their strengths. Then what is that I am like at my worst? Like these are my weaknesses. I don't want to work on these things. So it will be helpful if we can figure out if some of the other team members can work on those topics. As a team, we need to share, think and share the workload. Who is best at what, who is worst at what, and then how can we manage that balance? Okay. And then what is that they are expecting from me? So they should feel very comfortable that what help they need from me. If there is any kind of competency gap, then they can ask for the certain trainings or the KTs that they want us to get it enabled for them. Or if they are facing any challenge with any other team members, then we need to hold space for them and try to understand. And since not every team member will have that sense of maturity, right? So they will be kind of venting about other team members. And you have to handle these topics very patiently. You cannot judge someone. You cannot let people say that you are not good enough and that's where you are saying or certain thing about someone else. Okay. Each individual is coming from a different environment. They have been brought up in a different environment. They had different resources. They have, you know, different belief system with which they are coming. So we cannot compare two individual and say that, okay, see, he is lesser experience than you, but she's performing better than you. That comparison shouldn't happen. That will lower down the self esteem of other team. So try to hold space for each individual. Very important to understand that each one of us is unique. We are good at something, we are bad at something. Nobody is perfect. And we have to let the other person also understand that they are accepted as they are. So if they are lacking, say, competency gap, we are going to enable that training for them. If they are lacking something in commitment, then we have to guide them how they can build their commitment muscles. And we need to make sure to create the team spirit where each individuals are sharing their thoughts, and the knowledge is flowing across. They work as a team. They need to learn that nobody can achieve success as an individual. We need to work as a team, and then only we can grow. So there shouldn't be any kind of a jealousy. We should feel happy if I am not appreciated, but some of my team member is getting appreciated. And that can only happen if we are happy from us inside. Okay. So we need to start doing self-talk, self-love, positive talks with ourselves to keep us motivated. We should bring a certain kind of discipline in our life. Okay, discipline is one of the biggest form of self-love. People think that discipline is a punishment, but no. If you are disciplined, that means you value yourself, you love yourself. And if you are a disciplined person, for sure you will value others' time, you will appreciate others, you will learn to work as a team. Okay. So these are certain points that will help you uh, increase the performance of your team. So you can just try and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.